Alright guys, so this is day 3? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? 4, technically. Third full day. We slept in. Lots of people to rub by. Pretty sure made fun of us. It's all good though. So yeah, we're just gonna try to make something happen today. We're gonna start driving probably out that way, because everybody's that way. And just walk down roads and bugle, and hopefully one pops off and we'll be able to go down in and after them. Stay tuned. You're filming? Yeah. Oh man. Welcome to the channel, guys. Say hi to the camera.
Alright, we're at the next spot. Just parked. Put my glasses on, so we're into the serious hunting part of the day now. Kept fogging up my glasses, so I decided to roll with the contacts. We're gonna walk this road. This road ends above the backside of the creek bottom where we saw some big rubs and saw the cow elk the other day, so see if we can find hear anything out here and throw off some bugles and see what happens.
We just look. We need it. Notice something. When we're up on top like this, there's like no sign, no elk sign. A couple rubs here and there, but everything that we've seen has been like lower elevation, lower towards the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like maybe we should just try to find lower roads.
Yeah, stick to the bottoms.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of elk sign up there, but nothing else. We've seen bear sign.
Yeah. Big nasty bottoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get killed by a bee.
Oh, dude, this bee is all over us. What the heck?
We haven't seen bees though.
Alright, we ate lunch, chilled for a second, and now we are heading back to a new area, but we're passing this road where it goes to the bottom of where we've seen the 5-point and the 4-point. So we're just gonna walk real quick to the bottom, rip a couple bugles, see if we get anything, and if not, we'll just cruise over to this new area. So that's the plan. PSA, everybody, be like Chasin Roosevelt outdoors and pick up trash on your way out. Just spotted a single spike, but we think there might be more around, so we got out of the truck and we're trying to walk this road a little bit and see if we can find them. How many did you see?
For sure 3. A cow, a calf, and a spike again. I saw the spike twice.
Oh, really?
Well, we saw it right here. And I saw the calf, and then the cow. And then they turned and they're heading up.
Yeah.
Like almost towards where the other elk went. And then I saw the spike come back out.
I think I saw at least 2 cows.
There might be an Idaho bull with them. Because they're like headed out. But they're not spooked. Like the calf was kind of walking, the cow was just walking, then they trotted. And the spike like kind of ran up behind them. And I can't imagine. That is just one cow, one spike, one calf. There's no way.
I saw at least 2 cows.
So, okay, so maybe 2 cows, a calf, and a spike. There's gotta be more. Unless we just split the herd. There's a chance we split them. I mean, we're a little ways away.
Alright, so this is the situation. We're down the road a little ways and we came up on a cut at the top. We bugled off, didn't get any action, so we ended up driving down another road that was kind of right parallel to that cut. We got about halfway down and Thomas spotted a little spike on a bench in the middle of the cut. So we stopped, got out, and started walking down the road, and then we saw a calf and at least 2 cows. So we've come back up the road to a spot where we were a little bit earlier and found another road to cut off that's kind of heading back towards that elk. And right here, as we were driving down this road to try to get close, we got this nice fresh rub. So now we're gonna get out here and walk down this road and see if we can find these elk. he's raking, he's like bugling and whatnot. So Thomas is just gonna dive in there and try to go after him. Oh, it's getting late. I'm freaking out. Oh my gosh. This might be the same bull we saw before. But I'm just gonna try to get the phone scope on everything and watch the action from afar because I don't want to mess anything up for Thomas. So here he goes. Oh man, I hope he gets him. Get him on phone scope. Oh, come on, buddy. Get him. Wait, okay, hold on, I got him. Holy shit. He's looking right at us. He's a 555. Okay. Bro, we need to come up with a plan here. Be careful. Oh shit, he's coming. Hey, he's moving away. He's pushing his cows. That bull is still going off in the timber back there. But Thomas is on his way out. It's just about end of shooting light anyway, so we're gonna have to come at this bull again. But it's gonna take Thomas a minute to get out of there. It's steep and deep, so poor guy might have to go in with the headlamps after him. We'll see. Nice job, Thomas. Proud of you, man. The bull pushed his cows into the timber. And he's pushed on them down there. So freaking close. Oh, that was exciting. Oh man, what a stop.
This is really easy. It's the 2/3 down there before that road.
Yeah. Drops off.
No, it's just a bunch of down trees that are like that big.
Gosh.
Like literally like pixie sticks. Oops.
Dude, I'm so fucking proud of you for doing that, bud. That was amazing. Dude, so freaking close. Like, he was right there, like, looking at you as you were bugling.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Before he went in the timber, I ranged him at like 221 yards.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, we're back at camp. Had a crazy day. First of all, I want to say thanks to Bradley for being here and just being positive and continuing to like, let's try this, let's try that. If it wasn't for him, none of this shit would have happened. But anyways, so we basically drove around all day. We woke up late, slept in, and then drove around and just like parked at the top of a little bit of a roadway and then walked down in and bugle in there. Literally had no action all day long, and then we're just kind of goofing off and driving these random roads, checking different areas, and jumped some cows, which went from state land into Weyerhaeuser, which we don't have a permit for. So we kind of kept driving, and then we went down this other like side road, ended up having a clear cut, and I spotted a spike, a little tiny spike elk, and so we kind of tried to figure out where he was going and if there were any other elk with him, and walked down the road. Finally spotted it. Well, I spotted a calf down on the other side, and a cow, and then we saw another cow on the spike, and they fed up and over. So, long story short, went back around, found the little road that would have intercepted them, couldn't find them, found fresh rubs, bugled this whole time, still no responses, and we're heading back out. We're heading back out, right? Yeah. And Bradley just happened to look down in the clear cut again, and he's like, stop, there's an elk. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah. And he's like, it's either got big ears or it's got antlers. So we stop and he's looking and he's like, pretty sure it's a bull or something like that. And so I'm like, I want to get out, I want to look. So I get out and I'm like, we're trying to be quiet and we're kind of visible but kind of not. Finally I get out there and I see all the cows. There's like 5 or 6 cows. And then I finally see the bull, and I'm like, oh, that's a legal bull. It's a 5-point or something. So he like scrambled. We're like, don't know what to do because he's at the bottom again. Bottom of a clear cut, and so we're like going back and forth, trying to get video of him, and I'm watching him through the binoculars and trying to get a judge of what he's doing. And I thought he was gonna just push his cows down into the timber, but they kind of just hung out. And so we kept checking wind. The wind kept like kind of going back and forth on the top. And so I think I finally bugled at him, and it got his attention. He didn't really come towards us, but he kind of made a little bit of advancement, and then he looked like he was rounding his cows up. And so we're like, we need to do something. So I started running down the road to the right, because there's a lower road that got like right down to him, basically. And I started running down the road, and I get like, I don't know, a third of the way there, and I checking the wind starts blowing straight down to him. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that, I don't want to blow it out before I even get started, So then Bradley comes up, talk about it again, and he's like, I don't even know, I don't remember what we were talking about at that point, but I was just like, let's just go back to the truck and get eyes back on him. and then figure out, because he wasn't bugling, so we, like, if we didn't see him, we didn't know where he was at. We'd go back towards the truck, spot him again, he's still in the bottom, still kind of meandering in there with his cows and feeding and whatnot, and so we're like, kind of talking back and forth, like, should we do this, should we do that, should we do this? And at this point, it's starting to get dark. We had like less than an hour of daylight to begin with when we finally spotted him. And I was like, I don't know, but I feel like I should just go down there. And eventually, Brad was like, yeah, let's go. And so, like, the wind kept blowing, like, towards us, basically. Kind of at an angle sometimes. But at the top, it was blowing mostly up towards us. So I was like, if I go straight to him, I'll have good wind. Whether he sees me or not, doesn't matter. And there's a little tiny section of these tall trees. And I was like, well, I'll stay on that side so he can't see me. But I can kind of dip in and out and still see him. So I started going down and I'd challenge bugle and eventually start chuckling back at me. And I'd get down a little further and I'd lose sight of him. And so I was like, I don't know if he's still there. And I'm like texting Brad, like, hey, did he move his cows off and whatnot? And then he'd chuckle and I'm like, okay, he's still there. So I'm like not super nervous, but I'm like, I was in this weird mode, like determined, like I need to go kill this bull, but I don't want to mess it up, you know? And so I'm like, kept going. I'd go like 10, 20 yards and I'd scream at him. And then like, I think it was every other bugle he'd chuckle back. And at one point I thought he left, like went over the timber edge. And then it sounded like he came back. Finally, anyway, I got to the point where I could see him. And I kept an eye on him enough to where I didn't think he would see me. I'd move like when it looked like his head was turned away. Bugled at him again, chuckled. And I thought he was going to turn and start heading my way. And then I ripped kind of a mean bugle, but it kind of broke up. And he like kind of just looked and was like, I'm done. And then turned and just slowly started feeding away. And as he fed away, he bugled again, or chuckled. He like didn't really bugle much, but he chuckled mostly. And got to the edge, and right at that same point where my last bugle, I felt the wind on my neck, and I was like, here we go. And I checked the wind, and the wind, like, here's the bull. The wind was like this. And instead of pushing towards him, I was like, I'll go side, like, parallel him. But I just didn't have time. Like, I literally had maybe 10 minutes left before it was too dark for me to see through my sight. And so I was like, well, instead of pushing and having the wind blow down in there and blow him out, I'm just going to stop and see what happens. And so I stopped, and he fed over, and he chuckled a couple times. I did an Instagram story, and he chuckled again, or bugled and chuckled again, and then we backed out. We're going to go back in there tomorrow. Basically, the plan is, I'm talking a lot, ain't I?
It's all good.
Basically, tomorrow morning we're going to go up there, get to the top of that road system, bugle down in there. Hopefully he's still in there and he responds. We'll figure out exactly where he's at, see if we can get to that lower road and get to him, and make a good game plan. Hopefully the wind's good. And if not, we'll poke around that area a little bit, try to get him to respond. And if we can't find him, we'll find another bull to play. Hike, bugle, repeat. Literally, more like drive, hike, bugle, repeat, but same thing. Stay tuned, guys. Hopefully are you done already?
Well, we can edit it, so you can do your closer though.
Oh. Good? I don't